another magical Christmas spot. We're looking today at the McFarlane Toys Twisted Christmas. We're looking at Mrs. Claus, Santa's woman. Down below we've got a picture of Mrs. Claus drawn by Todd McFarlane himself. I don't know. She doesn't quite look like she does in the picture down below. Down below she looks like she's willing to bake you some cookies. This Mrs. Claus, probably not so much. One thing I like though, and it was mentioned in the I'm losing my train of thought, I don't know why, during the Santa Claus review, was the fact that if you wanted to keep these packaged, the beauty of it is that this is a completely open window figure. So the beauty of it is if you wanted to keep it packaged, you could still see the figure in its entirety, and I like that quite a bit. And on the side, we got Mrs. Claus. On the back, it says the read-up of Mrs. Claus, the First Lady of the North Pole is one of Santa's greatest assets. Ho, ho, ho. I probably didn't have to do that as exaggerated as I did. It says, inside the decadently distorted mind of Todd McFarlane, the holidays make an entirely different twist, or take on entirely different twist. Forget the warmth of Christmas past. McFarlane's Twisted Christmas transforms the characters you thought you knew, and the results are undeniably wicked. Other figures that you can get in this series, the set of Twisted Christmas features Santa Claus, Rudy the Reindeer, Snowman, Jack Frost, and Santa's Little Helper. For more information on McFarlane Toys and to check out the new toys coming out, check out www.spawn.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself a bit of a break. We're going to get this opened up and we are going to have ourselves a better look at Mrs. Claus. There's more magical review on the way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. For the most part, the figure is already in one piece. When you take it out of the package, you really don't have to do all that much to it. The only thing that really had to be done is the very top of the candy cane, which I'm going to take back off here. This cute, delightful little critter here, one of the elves, was a separate piece. You can see him straddling the top of the candy cane here. There's just a peg on the bottom. When you take the figure out of package, it kind of looks like she's riding a broomstick. You just have to peg the top of the cane to the rest of the candy cane, and there you have one solid piece. It's a very long, very tall display piece. It's surprising actually that they were able to get all of it complete and in the package as is. Now, where the Santa Claus was more of an articulated figure, I would say Mrs. Claus here is more of just a sculpted statue. There is some articulation in it, but I think the reason if you're buying this particular figure, well, first of all, you're probably buying this figure because you bought the other Twisted Christmas, or you're just a pervert. But yeah, the real reason you're probably buying this particular figure is the fact that you're just going to have it as a display piece and not so much that it's a figure. This entire figure can actually come off the display piece. There's a peg. I'll zoom down below here, don't worry. There is a peg right by her. Are these stiletto shoes? I really don't know. I don't wear high heels, I really don't know. But there is a peg hole where her foot goes into, and actually right at the top here, you'll see that there's an elastic band that is keeping her hands on this candy cane. To take this off though, she really isn't going to do anything. She isn't really going to do anything because the way she's pre-posed, you can see that the one leg is bent and then the other leg is straight. And for that reason, you're really not going to get much articulation or much posability out of her, aside really from what she's already doing. To have her just really on the candy cane, she looks really nice. I think she looks really, really nice. The display stand itself is just a snowy ground surface here with a sign that says the North Pole. There is also a secondary peg hole here, and you'll also see some ribbon laid across the base. That's because it does also come with a secondary figure, not really so much a figure, secondary accessory to this piece. I'll just put Mrs. Claus down for a second. Don't worry, we'll get to her. I know you guys are all, I know where you guys are already wanting to check out. But one of the other things that she comes with is a package, and it says do not open until Christmas. Clearly this elf could not wait. The elf is a separate piece. You can take him out of the box. The box doesn't close because this piece is attached to the top of his head. But this elf is clearly, much like the elf that's on top of the candy cane, this elf is checking out Mrs. Claus. Apparently the entire elf community are all perverts in the North Pole. But you can see that he's kind of just sitting in there. It's entirely up to you how you want to have him. You can have him facing this way, you can have him facing this way. But the fact that he's got the do not open till Christmas sign on the front, what I would do is I'd probably keep that piece, there's a peg hole on the bottom here, I would probably keep that piece facing this side and then just simply peg it into place. Or unless, maybe, you know what? Yeah, we could turn it sideways like that. And you've got the elf sitting on the display stand. It doesn't sit, I mean, it sits loose, like it's going to teeter, but I guess it's there just enough to keep the box from falling off the base. I'm just going to take him off actually for the rest of this review, just because I'll show off the details on Mrs. Claus. The face on Mrs. Claus is really nice. And as far as I know, there is a variant to this as well, which has lighter brown hair. And I think there was a blonde version of Mrs. Claus as well. But the face sculpt is really nice. I think they did a great job on the face sculpt. The hair is also really nice as well. The one concern I did have was the fact that this hair, especially this piece right here, because the whole time I open up packaging, always in the back of my mind, and maybe other collectors do this too, the thing in the back of my mind was, geez, when I'm ready to pack this away, is this piece of plastic going to break off? And luckily, you can see that it is pliable plastic. It's like a rubbery plastic. So if you were to package it away, luckily, it probably won't break off, which I really, really like. She's got her little Santa's hat going on there. Of course, that's probably the most fabric in her entire outfit is in her hat there. She's got herself a very skimpy lingerie outfit going on there with some sleeves. A very nice print actually on the sleeves. And she's got herself this little ruffled bottom. She also has this little ruffled skirt as well, which kind of just sits loose. You know, it doesn't really do anything aside from just kind of flop around. And she's also got herself some Mrs. Claus underoos. Really nice detailed, and I really especially like this, I don't know if these would be thigh-high stilettos, but I like the fact that there's a sheen to it to give it that indication that it's either a leather or a pleather fabric material, which I really, really like. It also looks like she's got sleigh bells all over her boots as well. Only adds to a really, really solid figure overall. In the way of Mrs. Claus's articulation, as mentioned earlier, unfortunately because this is more so a display piece, you're really not going to get a lot in it. There looks like there is some mild articulation in the hair, or in the head, that you can kind of have her head turned back and forth. You can't really do too much, and obviously if you turned her too much, it would kill her. It's entirely up to you how you want to have her head. There is some articulation in the arms here, which would probably lend itself more if she was off the candy cane. But again, really because of the legs, you're not going to be able to do all that much with them. There is what looks to be, no, there is no articulation. Well, there looks like there's a line here where you could turn her waist, but the fact that it's giving me resistance, I'm just going to leave it alone. There is a swivel though in also her legs, so you can kind of have her legs jetting out a little more so if you want, or closer to the candy cane. Overall, this is just a really, really nice figure. And I think where the figure really excels is in that face sculpt. The fact that you can even make out that she's got an open mouth and there's you can see her teeth and everything else. I think that is a fantastic job done on McFarlane toys. Now, call me crazy. I can even make out that there's a tongue in there as well. And there's also the sheen on her eyes. It's almost like you can see a reflection off of her eyes. Maybe we're seeing more than what's there, who knows. But overall, just a really, really solid figure. And I think to have her next to her man, this guy right here, I think you've got yourself quite a nice little set going on there. You're certainly not going to mess with her if you got to contend with this guy, but I can certainly see why this guy only goes out once a year. Ow! Go on, Santa. Anyways, today's Christmas spot, we were having a look at the Twisted Christmas Mrs. Claus. By the way, I'm going to give her a magical 8.5. Just a really solid sculpt, and even though this is an older figure as well, I think McFarlane Toys really did an outstanding job on this. Not great for necessarily an action figure, but certainly as a display piece, Mrs. Claus has it where it counts, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, today's Christmas spot, we're having a look at Mrs. Claus. I'm going to wrap this up here. Stay tuned for more Christmas spots to come, and I will see you guys next time.